Hi, this is Stormy. He's our sweet little 5-year-old dog. He was supposed to be a 5-pound Shorkie, if you can believe that. He's not 5 pounds, he's like 22 pounds. We also had a dog named Sunny, a little tricolor piece of heaven, our beagle. She did pass in May, and after that happened, it became much more difficult to leave him for long stretches of time at home. So he comes into work with me on Mondays and Thursdays typically. This morning when I woke up, I really shouldn't be surprised. I just tried to video this just a minute ago, and I had the realization that it's really kind of strange. Yesterday, the Lord had me on my 5th grade year, and today he has me on my son's 5th grade year. And by that, I mean, when he was in the 5th grade, what happened? And when he was in the 5th grade, what happened was Black History Month in February. I'm sitting there on the bleachers in the school. All the kids are around the gym with their poster board and their story. My son had picked Hank Aaron because he'd always been a big baseball guy. And I met this lovely couple, and they were there with their daughter. And bottom line, they're like, "Where do you go to church?" And I said, "Well, yeah, actually, we're searching, struggling a little bit." And he said, "Well, what are you struggling with?" And I said, I told him which was, one church was bad-mouthing Catholics, and then another church was bad-mouthing somebody else, and it just wasn't going to work for me. So we get to talking, and they were planning a church. And so we started going to Hope, and we met in the school gym for 8 years, 9 years. And then right about COVID, they finally got a building, which is just kind of strange the way that worked out, but at least they got one. But there were several things that happened while we were at Hope that I need to write out. There was a sermon that actually led to my God Room being designed, and that was back in 2016. So 7 years ago, a sermon there created my God Room that I write in on WordPress. Prayed over a weighted journal, what would your prayer be? And my prayer would have been for my kids to know Jesus. And for the first time ever, we were at church, and I put my arms around both of my children, and I prayed. And all I can tell you is that the Holy Spirit was so strong in the church that day. My son, who was 10 years old, absolutely lost it. Just really strong crying. And I'm not saying that to embarrass him someday. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, that kind of vulnerability and that kind of submission. And I can still see the faces. Sherelle and Margot and Tammy. And Sherelle has passed, but I can see the faces of the women who came over to help him and to encourage him and to tell him that's okay. That's how God works sometimes. He'll just get a hold of you, and sometimes it can be scary at first. And it can be at first. You're okay, baby. Then, of course, my kids both got baptized there. I got baptized there. The blue shoes. There are a lot of God stories that are attached to Hope. So I needed to kind of introduce them. And this is going to serve as that introduction to Hope and to Stormy. And I'm going to go write it out. And I hope you have a blessed day. And this guy. Come on, admit it. You want to look at him again. Have a good one.